Does the NBA have a gambling problem?
All right, so let's go ahead and pivot on over to the NBA, shall we?
Let's unfortunately do it, because this subject that we currently have to discuss is one that is breaking my little DNA Sports Recap heart. So, Jontay Porter, he is the brother of Michael Porter Jr., may be caught up in a scandal for gambling. After the betting companies noticed unusual activity on some of his activity, Porter is now under investigation. My big thing is like, how does Adam Silver deal with this issue?
First of all, I blame Adam Silver in the first point. I mean, what he's doing right now is he's chasing revenue as much as he can to launch into the next TV deal. Live sports is what's saving live TV right now. If it wasn't for
It's
that,
the only thing.
Yeah, if it's not for that, live TV does not make a lick. And he knows that. And he's trying to set his league up for a huge payday.
Mhm.
You want to talk about setting your legacy as the NBA commissioner? You set a record for the greatest TV deal in sports history while you're underneath
It's a
your
good way to do it.
However, in that case, he's bringing in a lot of money. And guess where it's all coming from? DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM, all of these companies, they're paying this crazy amount of money. They're sponsoring the league. Players are literally in commercials for these betting sites. And you're surprised when one of them gets caught up in one?
Yeah.
You think he's the only one? I guarantee you he's not.
No.
He's just the only one that's been caught because of the fact of his relative obscureness when it comes to being he's a two-way player. This guy makes $450,000 a year. There's a lot of money to most people, but when you're in the NBA and you're surrounded by millionaires,
It just doesn't feel like that
it just
much.
doesn't feel that much. On January 27th, DraftKings released a statement saying the biggest winner of the day was Jontay Porter's unders. And the same thing happened again in March, a game against the Clippers, where he tries to avoid a rebound at the end of the first. Right after, he went directly to the coach and said, "I'm hurt. I need to be out of the game," claiming that he re-aggravated an eye injury. So if you look back at that game, at no point in his minutes was he on the court did he ever get hit in the eye. But if you watch, he very lazily reached out with his hand and tried to grab a rebound and just dropped it because he realized that's his third rebound of the game. You know why? And then he immediately pulled himself out?
4.5.
The line was set at 4.5. Yeah, he's under investigation. We'll see what happens there. But let me ask you this question in this. What do you think will happen to him if he's found guilty?
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the problem. Is if he gets found guilty, your first thought is suspend him, throw the book at him, make an example out of this guy. You got to. It's the integrity of the league. But if any of that happens, what happens when James Harden gets caught doing the same thing?
Yep, you set precedents.
You're going to throw James Harden out of here? You're going to risk the reputation, the quality of the product on the floor for this guy?
The rule is currently in the books as it sits right now when it comes to gambling and on the NBA is that it's completely up to the commissioner's discretion.
Yep.
Luckily, the guy who's getting caught for this is a two-way guy. You can ban him from the league. You can Pete Rose him all day long.
Absolutely.
Then 2 weeks into next season, when John Morant's playing and balling out of his mind and he's connected to something, when he's telling people to take the over, that technically is influencing gambling. And it might have been an instant little tweet, but it is influencing. And now you got to and then you have precedents where you threw the book at him. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is something that commissioner, needs to take really careful steps when considering what he's going to do here. If he is found guilty, obviously innocent until proven otherwise. Yeah. But yeah, this is a very slippery slope because I guarantee you, he's not the first one to do it. He's not going to be the last one.
I don't know. I guess my issue with this whole deal is this isn't just going to affect betting in the NBA. No. When this is all said and done, this is going to affect how betting affects the NBA, the MLB, the NFL, NHL.
No one cares about hockey.
But there's betting in all these leagues, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And every single one of these players has an opportunity to fix it, and they can adjust the outcome of these games.
Yeah, we mentioned in our video last week, if go ahead and drop a link on that to check it out if you haven't seen it before, see it in the description here. I said watch very closely on how the league changes things next year when it comes to the in-season tournament and how they change the rules, because they kind of did it middle of the season this year after the trade deadline, and they won't admit to doing it, but it's clearly that they did. We had a bunch of 50-point games, 70-point games, 60-point games this year. And all of a sudden, after the trade deadline, we didn't see anybody break 50. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but we have not seen anybody break 50 in a while. If there is, it's probably one. Do you have any people between the year of 2010 and 2020 had 50-point games on average per year?
Say 3 or 4.
Exactly. And how many had it in like the first 2 months of the season?
It seemed like there was like 5 or 6 in the first half of the season.
Yeah. Definitely changing how they're enforcing things. And I guarantee you, in my opinion,
it's adjusting. I mean, they were trying to adjust to being an offensive league, right? Where they allow the offensive players to pretty much do whatever they wanted.
Once Jordan retired, you see that the ratings dropped, and so they had to quickly change it for the next TV deal and get some, eyes back on the game. So they switched the rules to make it mainly an offensive game, and it worked. It's been, offensive heavy ever since, and they're gearing up to get as much money as they can in the league, get as much eyeballs as they can in the league. Opening up betting is a great way to do that because you bring people into the sport that weren't in the sport already.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's great, but it's cutting your nose off to despite your face kind of thing. So it's going to be slippery. Watch how the rules change and see how they're going to benefit the sports books to do that, because I think that's exactly what it's heading.
Make sure you guys subscribe. We're going to have more videos just like this one. You're going to love them.
Absolutely. Make sure you also hit that notification bell, drop a like on this video, drop a comment down below, and let us know what you think as far as the NBA. Is this betting scandal a lot bigger than what we see it as? Are we making a big deal out of nothing? We'd love to hear from you on that.
Yep. And if you're watching on one of our short videos on YouTube, make sure you know that this is available as a podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, audio only. Should be a link right here.
With all that said, my name is Darren. This is AJ, and this has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.